Amazon PPC optimization sucks. It's a huge time suck and it takes so long to do. But I'm here to show you how you can do it in literally a few minutes. I've spent thousands of hours and over $1 million of my own money optimizing my own PPC campaigns on MMA Nutrition. And I've pretty much mastered Amazon PPC and PPC optimization, and I'm here to help you master it as well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use bulk sheets on Amazon. If you guys don't know what bulk sheets are, if you go into Campaign Manager, you go into bulk operations, there's a bulk sheet that you can download, and it's literally everything in your Campaign Manager placed on a spreadsheet. So you can go into that spreadsheet, you can optimize bids, optimize budgets, do all these different things, upload it back to Amazon, and boom, in a minute, all the changes have processed. So instead of going into the campaigns and changing one campaign at a time, or going to the targeting tab and changing the bids one at a time, instead of all of that, you can go into Campaign Manager, download a spreadsheet, change everything, and then upload it back to Amazon. And the beautiful thing is, everything I'm going to show you in bulk sheet, I'm going to jump into the computer right now, show you how to do it step by step. But everything I'm going to show you, I can do it even 10 times faster with this macro that I created, that I'm giving to you for free. You can download it. The link is in the description. It's called the toolbox, whatever. But anyways, let's jump on the computer and let me show you how to do it. All right, guys. So I'm in Seller Central, as usual, starting there. Click on the menu, go to Advertising, Campaign Manager. All right. So this is Campaign Manager, the usual. I'm going to click here on that credit card looking thing, sponsored ads, click on bulk operations. This will take me to this page. This is where I'm going to download the bulk sheet. Now, let's talk about this, which is the date range and what we should include. Once I click create a spreadsheet for download, it'll start downloading here, and then I can download it. And then when I'm uploading it, I'll upload it back here, and it'll show if it's successfully finished, how many rows processed, and all that stuff. So let's talk about date range. When it comes to date range, like what date range should I have for my bulk sheet? Here's what I think. First of all, skip the last 72 hours. The last 72 hours of data is not accurate. This is because of attribution delay, which means, like, let's say yesterday or whatever, someone could have clicked on one of your campaigns, but they didn't make the purchase yet, but they could make it today, tomorrow, or maybe they already made the purchase, but Amazon didn't register the purchase. So you could say, oh, you spent $15, but no sales. But actually, if you waited a couple days, you actually made 2 sales, and now it's very profitable. It's like a, 25% ACOS. So that's why I skipped the last 72 hours, because attribution is delayed. And then from there, I take the date range of when I last optimized my bids. So if I optimized my bids a week ago, I'm going to skip 72 hours and then go from that last time that I optimized until 72 hours ago. The reason that I do this is because I want to see how things performed after the optimization. Because let's say that I optimized a week ago and I looked at the date range before that, and I'm like, okay, this keyword spent a lot of money, no sales, or the ACOS is high, I optimized the bids. If I look again at that time period, including like maybe the last few days or the last 5 days and the time before that, then I'm looking at old data. I'm looking at data where basically I'm seeing the data, I'm like, oh, I should optimize again. But I'm like, no, you already optimized. So what happened after the optimization? That's the key, is I'm choosing a date range, I'm optimizing, and then I'm waiting a certain period of time, evaluating the data again, and then trying to optimize it. Now, the tricky thing is, sometimes that's going to be a challenge, because you're going to be like, okay, let me look at the last 5 days. Oh, I only spent $3. Let me look at the last 5 days again. Like after another 5 days, oh, I only spent $3. So it's like $3 and $3 and $3, and sometimes it creeps up on you. So that's why I like to go into the targeting tab, and I'm like, okay, cool. After optimizing, for 3 or 4 weeks, let me do a filter. Last 60 days, all keywords that spent a lot of money with no sales, or all keywords with a high ACOS the last 60 days. And that's like, okay, I've optimized multiple times, but still, it didn't perform well. Now I'm going to make the decision to pause it. Cool. So date range, you got it. Let's talk about what to include. So terminated campaigns, no need, right? They're terminated. We don't need them anymore. Campaigns with 0 impressions. I like to do this once every 2 weeks, where I show all the campaigns with 0 impressions. I wonder why they're there. Like, why do they have 0 impressions? Why aren't they getting any impressions? If they're like dead, I'll archive them so they're completely out, and then I'll relaunch any keywords that are missing, that like I'm not targeting. Because the worst thing is thinking that you're targeting a keyword, but actually it's getting 0 impressions, so you're not actually targeting it. Next, placement data. We want that because it's gonna tell us like the placements, and we can adjust bid by placement. Brand assets data doesn't really matter to us for the purposes of PPC optimization. Sponsor products data, important. Sponsor brand, important. Sponsor brand multi-ad group data. I usually don't use that, so you can include it or exclude it, doesn't matter. Sponsor display, important, right? Because you want to optimize sponsor product, sponsor brand, and sponsor display, and they show up in different tabs. Guidance for sponsor display, so whatever, keep the guidance, keep the search term data, and keep the sponsor brand search term data. None of it's gonna hurt. Then I click create a spreadsheet for download and it's gonna show up here. And then I can click download when it's done. So I've already done this. All right, so once we're here in this sheet, so I kind of blew it up for you guys so you can see it. I'm gonna highlight everything, make sure that I have enough room to read all the words. So I'm gonna expand the columns, the width of the columns, and then I'm gonna go to everything and click filter. So highlight everything, sort and filter, filter, so I can start seeing things. Now, let's talk about one header at a time. Product, this is the type of ad. So is it sponsored product, sponsored brand, or sponsored display? Entity, these are the entities, right? You can have a campaign, you can have an ad group, you can have a keyword or a negative keyword, or a campaign negative keyword, or a negative keyword inside of the ad group, or a negative product targeting, or a product ad. This is like the SKU that you're targeting in the ad, or product targeting. So these are all the different types of things. If you think about it, so if you think about it from top to bottom, you have the campaign, and then you have the ad group, and then you have the ad, which is what you're advertising in the ad groups. Then you have the keywords, then you have the product targets, and then you have the negatives. Now here is operation. This is critical that you guys pay attention to this. So with operation, if you update any row, you have to write update. If you don't, and you upload it to Amazon, they are going to ignore any changes that you made. So you have to write update here. So there's update, create, or delete. Actually, let me open up this. So here, this is advertising.com/API/docs, whatever. You can read this and you can copy paste it, but you can essentially get it from here. So like I'll actually show you how to do it. So you open up this in a new tab, and then here where it says update campaigns, click on sponsor products, and this is where you go. So here they're going to explain everything that you can do in bulk sheets. So change the campaign name, update campaign data, archive a campaign, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see here, it tells you that you have to put update in operations, and you could put the new campaign name, make sure that the status is enabled, things like that. So go through this, if you're trying to figure out like what are all the operations that you can do. But essentially, I mean, I'm kind of going over it, so it's a lot easier to just follow me. But yeah, you want to make sure that any changes you make, you put update here. Next, campaign ID. Unique ID for the campaign, doesn't matter. Ad group ID, same thing. Portfolio ID, same thing. Ad ID, same thing. Keyword product targeting ID, all of that stuff really doesn't matter. We could essentially hide it, right? Because, I mean, we're not interested in looking at IDs. So I just hide. All right, next, we're getting into the important stuff. Campaign name, and then the ad group name. And then this is campaign name, but the beautiful thing about this is if you're gonna select the campaign name, you wanna select it from here, because when you select it from here, it'll get you all of the fields, all of the rows in that campaign. If you select it from here, it's just gonna show the campaign level campaign name. So what I mean by that is if I selected this campaign name here, if I clicked on the filter and selected one campaign, it's only gonna show me the attribute on the campaign level. It's not gonna show me the keywords or anything in that campaign. So this is why this is super useful. Same with the ad group name. And then this is obviously super useful because we want to know what the portfolio name is. I hope that you guys have put all of your campaigns in portfolio so that they're easy to sort. And whenever we're working on bulk sheet optimization, you want to work one product at a time. You don't want to mix all the products because each product is in a different stage of its life. So my unflavored, for example, is mature. So it's in a very mature stage. I'm doing small tweaks. My hard work fruit blast is in a growth stage. So I'm trying to spend a lot of money, launch new campaigns. I'm okay with a much higher ACOS. So that's why you want to work at one product at a time. Start date, this is when the campaign started. End date, this is when it will end. Ideally, there's never an end date. Targeting, manual or auto. State enabled. Obviously, it's important here for the state for you to always select enabled. If it's paused, there's no point in looking at it. And while I'm doing the optimization, I'm gonna show you, because what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do campaign budget changes. We're gonna do keyword bid optimization. We're also gonna do placement data. I'll show you how to do the placement stuff here as well. Now here's the daily budget. Here's the SKU. But again, the SKU here is gonna be on only one row, which is the ad row. And that's the reason why we wanna use these portfolios, the one for information only, because it'll select everything in that campaign, as opposed to, here it's gonna only select one thing. Then you have the ASIN, eligibility status. This is important. If any one of your SKUs becomes ineligible, it's good to catch that. So you can actually just click on this filter and see which one is ineligible for ad serving and then figure out why. Reasons for ineligibility is right there. Offer must be available. Okay, so perfect. It's unavailable because probably one of my products is out of stock. Ad group default bid, not that important. Carries over here. Bid, this is the important one, which is the keyword bids. This is what we're going to be optimizing. What the keyword is, what the match type is. Then here we have the bidding strategy, placement, and the percentage. Here we have product targeting expression, if we're doing a product targeting. And now we get into the data, which is impressions, how many people saw you, clicks, how many people clicked on you, click-through rate, clicks divided by impressions, spend, how much money you spent on that keyword, sales, how many sales it generated, orders, how many orders, units, conversion rate, ACOS, cost per click, and ROAS. And that is an explanation of the bulk sheet, and I'll go into how to optimize. So first things first, let's pick one product. So let's do HFB. So if you guys don't have really good campaign naming convention, I like to start all of my campaigns with the product code. So in this case, it's going to be HFB. So I'm selecting this, and now you'll notice that all of my campaigns right here, they're all HFB. So now I'm focused only on the Hard Work Fruit Blast product. Next, let's work on just budget optimization. So I'm going to go here into Entity, and I'm going to select only the campaign level. All right. So these are all my campaigns for Hard Work Fruit Blast. Now from here, I scroll to the right, I see all the budgets. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to identify which campaigns performed well so I can increase the budget. Because if it's performing well, I want to spend more money on it. So I can go all the way to the right here. And what I can do is I can sort by ROAS. So largest to smallest, descending. And it looks like two of them have a really good ROAS. So these two, I'm going to go all the way here. These are the ones that I want to increase the budget on. The budget is right here, $100. Let's make it $300. And we're going to go to operation, and we're going to select update. Done. Now, obviously, a lot of this stuff is a little bit manual. In my toolbox, which you can download in the description, link is in the description. I give it out everywhere. I give it to everyone. It's a free toolbox. It's all of my tools. The macros for optimizing your campaigns, doing this at scale, optimizing your bids, everything I'm gonna show you, doing it at scale, like very, very quickly, just putting the criteria, clicking a button, and it does all of that for you, puts all the updates, all that kind of stuff. You can get it in my toolbox. So don't worry too much, but I wanna show you exactly how to do it yourself so you never have to rely on a tool. Because let's say, for example, my macro breaks, you're not like, oh man, like Mina, help me. It's more like, I know exactly what to do. I understand everything. You understand that this is a campaign, and you can, increase the budget of that campaign by doing X, Y, and Z. So we did the campaign optimization. We increased the budgets. There's never a situation where I decrease budgets. I only decrease bids. Decreasing the budgets never helps. You always want to have high budgets and then lower the bids if necessary to spend less so that you're more profitable. Okay, so that's done. Next, we're going to change and go, instead of campaign, we're going to click on keywords and product targeting. So now I'm finding all of the keywords and all the product targets in campaigns. So you'll see here, here's all the keywords, here's all the product targets. This one doesn't have keywords because it's an auto campaign, so loose match, close match, complement, substitutes, and so on. And exact same thing, what I can do is I can start putting filters. So let's talk about optimizing for profit. If the ACOS is high, I want to lower the bid, or if there's high spend and no sales, I want to lower the bid. So I'll start by sorting ACOS descending, and I'm going to say, okay, this is in the launch phase. So anything above 100%, okay, maybe it's a little bit too much. So now that I have these, usually what I do actually is I'll highlight them, and I'm like, okay, let's highlight it as like this color. And I know that these need to be lowered, right? ACOS is too high. And I go here, bids are right here. This is the bid right here. And I'll lower the bid by 5 cents, maybe 10 cents, right? I don't want to lower the bid by too much. I don't lower it by percentage. I just want to iterate it. So right now at $3.80, it might be in position 7, like sponsored, products, right? It's position 7. So I'm like, okay, maybe at position 7 is getting too many clicks and not that many people are interested in it. So let's take it to position 15, just lower it a little bit. I don't want to take it from position 7 to position 38. And it's like, oh, it's barely spending any money and it's not making sales. Well, yeah, because instead of just checking which position works best, you just made a huge jump. And so you skipped all these positions, so you don't know which one is going to work best. So I'll go here and do 3.6. This one I'll go 2.8. This one I'll go 2.9. This one I'll go 1.65. This one I'll go 4. Okay? Now, some people might be like, oh, Mina, this is, you're making such small changes. Is it actually going to have an impact? Yes, it is going to have an impact. And I'd rather you make smaller changes more frequently than big changes. Because remember, if you're in position 4 and then you go to position 40, you don't know, like, how is that going to work, right? You're going to go from position 4 to 40. You're like, okay, this didn't work and that didn't work. Now what? Now you just ruined your keyword versus going position 4 to 7 to 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 to 18. And then you're like, oh, at 18, now it's working. Now it's profitable. Great, right? Instead of going 4 to 40 and you're like, oh, well, that didn't work. That didn't work. Now what? Oh, my campaign sucks. My PPC sucks. PPC is so bad. Anyways, so that's how you lower the bids for high ACOS. Now, the other thing is spend and no sales. So I'm going to go here to orders and I'm going to say I want 0 orders. And then I'm going to sort by spend, descending. So now these are keywords that are spending money and making no sales. This keyword in particular spent $52 and didn't make any sales. So it's a red flag for me. So I'm going to go here. I'm also looking at the click-through rate, 0.03%. Low, like anything under 0.2% is very low. Conversion rate obviously is nothing. Cost per click is super high. So let's go back here. The bid is right here, 250. Let's drop it to 2.3, 230, right? So we can go a little bit lower and let's see what happens. Hopefully it spends less and less. And the reason I want to go from position like 4 or 10 or whatever to position 15, 20, 25 is maybe someone who makes it all the way down to the bottom of page 2 and clicks on it is actually interested. Maybe right now it's sitting at the top of page 1 or the middle of page 1, where there's a lot of window shoppers because, you know, electrolyte keywords have a lot of traffic. And I rarely even read this. So it says electrolyte powder, no sugar. This is an electrolyte powder, no sugar. I don't try and make sense why it's not working. It's just, hey, people are clicking on it. They're not buying. It is what it is. We can do another session about, okay, let's go and study the keywords and why are people clicking but not converting? You know, is it my reviews? Is it, the product doesn't match the keyword and so on, and we can fix that. Anyways, now one thing I didn't mention, guys, as we lower the bids and all this stuff, is ideally, I only do this for exact and product targeting. I don't do it for broad and phrase. Ideally, for broad and phrase, I start by downloading the search term report and then identifying the non-profitable search terms inside of those keywords, adding them as negative, waiting, and if it's still not performing, then I'll lower the bids. Okay, so just want to add that in there. It's better because this keyword broad, right, which is MMA nutrition electrolytes broad, it could be triggering for 30, 40, 50 different keywords, right? Like a lot of different keywords. And it's not profitable, but it could actually mean that 10 of the keywords in there are not profitable. The others are, some of them are like okay, some of them not spending, some of them are super profitable. And if you add those bad ones as negatives, then you're in a good position. Okay, so that's why I'd like to do that first. Okay, now let's talk about the opposite scenario. Very, very easy scenario. Let's go back to orders, select all of them. What about good ACOS, right? So I'm gonna do ascending ACOS here, and then orders at least 1. Here we go. So what about these ones, right? Really, really good ACOS, low ACOS. I'm gonna highlight them in a light green. And these are ones where I wanna spend a little bit more money, right? Because conversion rate is good, ACOS is good, ROAS is good. It's making me money, so why don't I get more and more people to click on that ad? So you'll notice here I only have 8 impressions. This one I have 26,000 impressions, which is amazing. I wanna get more. So what I'm gonna do is the exact same thing. You know, make this 1.2, for example, increase by 15 cents. This one, make it, let's say 3. Increase it by 17 cents. So I'm slowly increasing it. Hard work, hydration, and that substitutes auto campaign. Increasing the bid slowly to go higher, get a higher rank, show up more, get more impressions, hopefully more clicks, and hopefully more sales. So that covers budget optimization, bid optimization in the bulk sheets. You can see it's super, super easy. And the reason that I highlighted is later on, I can just easily, find everything that is in color and just, fill it in like that, right? Easy. Actually, guys, I stand corrected. I don't think you can optimize bid by placement here. But the good thing is I showed you guys how to do it in another video, just through Campaign Manager. I'll actually show you guys again really quickly. So, all right, so I'm in Campaign Manager. Just type in HFB, right? So we follow whatever we're working on, same product. And I can easily open up this campaign, click on placements, and now here it's going to show me the placements, right? And so it looks like in rest of search, it performs, 2.56. In top of search, it barely gets any impressions. Product pages, it gets a lot of impressions. So this might be a case where, I leave it as is, but if Top of search, for example, we had a really good ROAS, better than rest of search and product pages. This is where I would increase the bid adjustment. But also here, it looks like we did $19 in spend, no sales in the last 30 days. So maybe just remove this bid adjustment because it's not working. But yeah, essentially, you're gonna have to do this one campaign at a time. I'm gonna try and figure out if there's a faster way to do this. Usually in the past, you could do it in bulk sheets, but obviously they're always improving it, they're always changing it. So I'm not sure if you can still do it. Based on what I saw, I didn't see any of these placements in the bulk sheets. So I'll double check, but that's it, guys. So I showed you how to log into Seller Central, open up Campaign Manager, download the bulk sheet, the date range, what things to select. I showed you how to optimize the campaign budgets very quickly. I showed you how to optimize bids very quickly, whether it's lowering bids or increasing bids. Again, if you want more depth on the knowledge, I have other videos on like exactly what to do to optimize bids, but I just wanted to show you how to do it in the bulk sheets because it's 10 times faster than going and doing it here in Campaign Manager. But the targeting tab actually makes it so easy and so simple. You can kind of do a lot of the same things by just adding filters. But I prefer to work in the bulk sheets because everything's right there. You just make all your changes very quickly, especially when you have a large catalog, a lot of different keywords. You can make changes quickly. It's in an Excel spreadsheet, and then you just make sure it's update and then upload to Amazon. The final piece, obviously, is just to save the file that we're working on, and then click here, choose your file, upload it back to Amazon, and then process it. And that's it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you will start using bulk sheets. It will save you literally thousands of hours if you're doing PPC optimization all the time. I highly recommend that you check this other video that I did, which is all about listing optimization, how to improve click-through rate and conversion rate, because a combination of that plus good PPC, so if you can improve your click-through rate, improve your conversion rate, and you can optimize your PPC, launch campaigns, do all that stuff effectively, you are definitely going to increase your revenue. Alright guys, subscribe to the channel and leave comments with any questions that you have. I will answer every single one. See you guys in the next video.